And you're just wondering exactly what happened, exactly where it went wrong. Let me give you a background story, okay? Let's just say, for example, you spent months, you spent a lot of time, maybe years protecting your peace, protecting yourself, and keeping your heart safe. You don't want problems, you don't want anybody to break your heart, you don't want to break anybody's heart. And all of a sudden you meet someone who seems to be completely different. We've all been there. This man is different. And it doesn't just tell you he likes you. No. It it sweeps you off your feet. It tells you, it uses those words like those words that felt like movie scripts. It doesn't say beautiful. It doesn't say, oh, you're pretty. It uses words like, so polkatudinous. Yeah. And that just means it's just a beautiful word for breathtakingly gorgeous. Okay. It told you were sublime. It told you you're, statuesque and enchanted. And what's the other word? Bewitched. And all those, and even brings the people you love into it. Maybe your mother, you're a single parent, and it tells you he loves your children, promises you a future, and tells you, and when you ask him, he tells you, oh, you're intelligent, so you should know that you will never make a promise to you and break those promises. And then you're thinking of those words and you're smiling. You're driving and you're blushing, and eventually you let your guard down, falls in love with this man, and boom, you get intimate with him. And of course, after that, this whole story starts, right? The text that used to take minutes now takes hours. There's no warmth anymore. He doesn't look forward to talking to you. This was someone that would always want to speak to you, talk to you, but now everything just seems. And then, you know, you you're there. You don't even know what to do. Now, let me tell you why this pain is much right now. The sharper pain is not what it did, okay? You already know, you know what it did. It broke your heart, right? The pain you're feeling is you want to know why it did what it did, okay? And that is why you're not able to sleep at night. It is not because of what he did. Your brain already knows what he did, but you want to know why. Why did it change? What did I do wrong? Why did he just intensify the chase just to walk away? Why did he stop talking to me? Why did he do this? Okay. Our brains cannot heal when we are trapped in a question mark. When there's something you need to know and you don't know, your brain is not able to move on. And that's why we stay stuck, because we are looking for logic in a situation that makes no sense. Okay. I want to make sense out of this. I want to make sense of this, but it's not making sense, right? And that's why I made this video today, because I want to give you the why. Because I know that if I give you the why, it may not take the pain away, but it would ease it a little bit. I want to hand you the answers so your brain can finally stop spinning and stop blaming itself or blaming you, and you just start easing out of the panic. Now, this is not about calling all men evil. This is not a video to show you how to deal with men. There are so many beautiful men out there. There are good men. There are wonderful men out there. Genuinely good men. But this video is specific to the patterns, to show you the patterns, to show you the things that happens, why men pull back after intimacy, and make you understand the science behind it, or let's say the science behind the exact key to taking your power back. Okay, so sisters, grab a warm drink, sit with me, and we are going to unlock it together. Okay, like sisters. I'm not here to mentor you, I'm not here to teach you what to do. Like I said, I'm not here to teach you how to make a man that doesn't want you fall in love with you. No, that's not why we are here. Okay, let's start with what happens in the brain. Okay, specifically with a chemical called dopamine. I mean, the craving chemical, or let's say the anticipation hormone. Okay, it is that excitement that you feel when you're going on a vacation, or when you're chasing something, when you're looking forward to win something, you're looking forward to a prize, it is not necessarily the feeling you have after you win it. Let's say you want to buy a car, the feeling that you have before you buy it, not after you buy it. Okay. Now, for some people, the thrill is entirely in the pursuit, it is in the chasing for them, especially when it comes to women with high boundaries. So, when you have high boundaries and you took your time, his brain is working overtime. His brain is pumping out dopamine every single day, and it is just to try and win you over. That's why the higher the boundaries, the higher the chase, the more intense the pursuit, right? It would intensify his chase because your boundaries it made it a high level challenge, more like when you're playing a video game, right? Exactly. But you see, the moment you let your guard down, especially after intimacy happens, that anticipation ends. The prize has been won. The peak of that specific chemical high drops. It drops drastically because some men are emotionally immature. Okay, let's just be honest with ourselves. It feels that sudden drop in excitement and thinks, oh, okay, I guess everything is over now, game over, the chase is gone. And then it confuses the end of that chase with a lack of, with the fact that you're not compatible. And then when he says there is a lack of compatibility, he would choose to back away instead of doing the work to build real steady love with you, instead of doing the work to continue to be with you. Okay. And I know it's mean. I know it's not a good thing, but I didn't make the rule. It is a very harsh reality of human chemistry. Okay. When 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 someone is addicted to the high of the chase, that's why some women will continue to make him chase and he won't stop. Okay. When someone is committed to the high of the chase, they don't have the maturity to handle a beautiful, quiet reality after, the intimacy. Okay. The reality of what comes after is just so much for them because they want to keep chasing. That's the goal. Okay. Now let's go to the second thing, which is what I call compartmentalization. Okay. This comes down to a mental habit that people have. Okay. And by compartmentalization, I mean the ability to put different areas of your life into complete separate sealed boxes that never touch each other. Okay. So this is the sex life, this is the work life, this is the family life, this is my friend and all that. A lot of men are conditioned to put physical intimacy into an isolated box. Okay. And this box has nothing to do with these other boxes. Okay. The box has nothing to do with their long term emotional plans. No, they can just experience intimacy as a physical event, especially when the man really does not like you like that. Okay. But for many women, the boxes are like this. Okay. A woman can love you and still do her work and still do a lot of things at the same time. So during intimacy, women release every amount of oxytocin. Okay. And by oxytocin, I mean the the bonding or cuddle hormone. Okay. It is that chemical glue that nature that you release that makes you naturally feel deeply attached to someone. Okay. So when you experience that intimacy, you can still do everything that you want to do and still love that man. Now your boxes will melt together. Okay. You naturally see that these boxes, they are together. And even after the intimacy, the next day you're still yourself, you're still the same person. But for him, he realizes that your expectations have changed. He realizes that you now want integration, you now want, and what that means is you want his daily actions to match his words, his poetic words. Okay. The moment he sees that he cannot keep intimacy in a tiny uncomplicated box anymore, he panics and then he starts to pull back or to drift. Okay. because his box is here. And once it's checked, that's it. Okay. I know this is cruel. I know. But you see, it is what it is. You cannot force a person to merge their life boxes if they are determined to keep their emotions locked away in a drawer. If you push that, you will be hurting yourself, okay? And that's why they pull back. After this box is checked, they move on to this and this and this. But for you, everything melts together and that's it, okay? Now, the third one is a sexual syndrome, and this is called the ego trophy, okay? Now, this thought pattern is purely ego, okay? We can call it pride or ego, whatever. And what I mean is it is something that makes someone feels like a conqueror, okay? The main goal is to plant a flag on a hill just to prove they could do what it did, okay? When a person who derives their self-worth or ego or pride from validation, okay, or from winning, or from conquering, or from conquering something, if that's the right word, yes. When that person encounters a woman who has kept her walls up for years, their ego goes into overdrive, okay? They're like, Nobody has done this to me. Why? What makes you different? Your boundary isn't a stop sign to them, okay? It's an invitation to prove to you how charming they are. So when you have that boundaries, they go, the higher the boundaries, the more they go, the more intense they go. They have this extravagant, they use extravagant language, and that they don't want to use normal compliments because it might not break your defenses. So they go all out, okay? The entire process wasn't actually about getting to know you or getting to know your soul. No, it was a performance to see if maybe if I'm smooth enough to make this woman that looks guarded, surrounded, then let's see what can happen, or let's see what will happen. And once they get that physical validation from you, your ego is fully satisfied. Okay. The trophy has been won. So the effort completely, the effort completely disappears. What's wrong with complete? Anyway, I know it's malicious. I know it's bad because when you realize that you were part of a game to someone, it's hard, okay? But it is what it is. Some people would use romance like a mirror to look at how attractive they are, how powerful they are. And once they see their reflection, they walk away from the mirror. That's just it, okay? So when you see this, it will ease the pain a little bit. Okay, so this is what he was doing. Anyways, let's go to the fourth one. The fourth one is what I call the avoidant liability panic. Now, what psychologists call an avoidant attachment style. And by avoidant attachment, what I mean is just a deep seated subconscious fear of real emotional vulnerability and responsibility. Okay. It has everything to do with you being vulnerable and you being responsible, right? Now, during the love bombing phase, and by love bombing, what I mean is, pouring out everything on you, the intense affection, you know, pouring it out way too quickly, using those big, heavy words on you. This person overextended their emotional credit card. Okay, that's not who they are. They say things like, I never make a promise I won't keep. They say things like, I've never seen a woman so tough like you. They might even use the names of the people closest to you to make you feel safe. Like I said in the beginning of the video, they can use your children. They can, say, I love you, I love your children. They call them, my princesses, my babies, and all that. They are playing a big heroic character in a romance movie. That's what they are doing, okay? But you see, post intimacy, that's after the intimacy, they look at the emotional debt they created, because this is not me, this is not them, right? And then they realize they actually have to show up and be consistent and handle real life responsibilities. And then At that moment, their their avoidant brain panics because the weight of it is too much. Okay. Now, just because they lack the courage to say it to you and to tell you, they now start playing a big game. Okay. Because they're too small to handle the relationship or the responsibility, they won't tell you. So they will choose that coward's exit, that gradual agonizing fade. Okay. The way they used to talk to you, they would shift back. And I know it's coward, I know. But again, I didn't make the rule. Okay. When people build fantasy version of themselves that they cannot sustain, they will almost always run away. Okay. They will always run away rather than admit that, okay, this is what I was doing. And which is, of course, their limitation. All right. Now, after all of this, let's now go to what to do. Okay. Now that we have broken down the why without blame, I'm not blaming you, I'm not blaming anybody. Let's talk about the how. Okay. How do you protect your peace? This is the reason I made this. This is the second part of the reason I made this video. And it's going to be our strategic action plan. Okay. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but I promise you, if you do it, it will help. Number one, match is absence, match is energy. Okay. Your natural instinct as a woman is to lean in when the man pulls back. Okay. Because you want to fix it. You want to send a text, asking him what's wrong, or write a long paragraph, write a long message, trying to remind him of the sweetness they showed you last week. I'm not blaming you. Every one of us has done it. I have done it too. Okay. But please, I'm begging you, stop. Okay. You need to stop, and stop. Stop doing that right now. A man that has already decided in his heart to leave you will leave regardless of what you say. Okay. You cannot cure their distance with your warmth. If they take a step back, you take a step or two steps back. Okay. Do not demand closure from them. Do not ask them for explanations. Okay. Again, I'm not blaming you. I've done this before and it didn't work. Okay. Let the silence they created remain completely empty. When you chase someone who is fading, when you chase someone who is running away, there is one thing you do. You accidentally abandon yourself. And when you abandon yourself, it's going to be worse. Okay. The second thing you need to do is create a visual blackout willpower to fight a broken heart. Okay. You have to change your digital environment. You have to change archive all their chats. Okay. Mute their notifications. And I know this is not going to be easy. Okay. But do it so that their names doesn't flash on your screen. Delete their names first. Delete the number. Okay. Now, let me tell you what happens. Every time your phone lights up and it's not them, your nervous system takes a mini hit of anxiety. Okay, maybe mini, maybe loud, maybe high, something, but it just gives you anxiety. Now, you need to stop checking your phone, stop checking their online status, stop looking at their social media stories. Every single glance at them is a micro dose of hurt that resets your emotional healing clock back to zero. Okay. Stop expecting to hear from them. I know it's not easy, but please try it. It works. Okay. Now let's go to the step 3. I call this the 10-minute rule. Okay. The 10-minute rule is really going to help you because our brain is, I don't know. I don't know why we're like that, but we're like that. Okay. When the urge to text them or reread those old beautiful promises, messages become so heavy because it hurts, right? Give yourself a 10-minute interruption. 10 minutes. And I'm not saying you should give yourself 10 minutes and start counting the time and because after 10 minutes you want to go and do it. No. Tell yourself, I am allowed to send a text. I'm allowed to feel this weight. But I have to wait exactly 10 minutes first and then Let's see if I still want to do it. Not 10 minutes first and then do it, okay? During those 10 minutes, force your body to move. Do not sit in a place, okay? Do the dishes, take a long hot shower, a cold shower, whatever. Step outside into the fresh air, okay? Call a friend or ask about life. Talk to people, okay? Engage your brain in something completely different. Think about the things you used to do before you met him. Think about the things that used to give you, joy and happiness before you met him, and go back to those things. Most of the times, the sharpest peak of that emotional urge will pass. A lot of time will pass before that timer runs out. It works, okay? I didn't make the rules, but it works, okay? Number four, you write your new personal protocol. This is very, very important, okay? Use this temporary plan to build your permanent protection. And by protocol, what I mean is the unbreakable personal rules for the future. You have to take a sit back and write them down. I will never accept hyper romantic language from someone who hasn't proven their consistency over months again. I know it's hard, okay? When you say that, even God is watching you like, I know you will do it again, but it's okay. Write it down, okay? I will only allow intimacy to happen on a timeline where I feel entirely stable and safe. In fact, if you want to help yourself, write these things down in the comment section so you can always come back to it. I would not just allow myself to be swept up in poetry. Let this heartbreak be the foundation for your strongest boundaries yet. Okay? I will never allow this to happen. I will never, even though you will make mistakes, I'm not saying you're not going to make mistakes, but please write them down and read them. Okay? Every time you want to text him, every time you want to reach out to him, remind yourself that your silence is the loudest thing you own, okay? Your silence is the best gift that you have right now, is all that you have. When a man pulls back, he expects you to chase him. That's the truth. He expects the paragraphs, he expects the tears, he expects the begging because he feeds his ego, okay? When you match his absence with absolute stone cold silence, I mean, absolute, it's hard, but try it. You flip the script, okay? You show him that your access is a privilege and not a guarantee, okay? After he acts careless, the door slams shut, okay? You were acting right, that's why I gave you access to me. Your silence is not weakness, okay? It is your ultimate boundary. Let him know that I gave you access to me because you had sense. Now that you don't have it anymore, the door slams shut, okay? Think of your emotional energy like a bank. You need to set boundaries, okay?